Good morning. It's Tuesday, January 23rd. I want to tell you that when I grew up in the Bronx, everybody in my neighborhood was going to go to City College. That was the place to go for a great education. That was the place to go if you didn't have a lot of money to spend. And when I started going to City College, it was $4 a semester for me. And I got a great education there, even though it took me a long, long time to graduate because I got married, I was raising kids, I was working in the post office at night, I was doing all kinds of things. So I didn't graduate in the normal 4 years. And I started college a couple years late. I didn't go right out of high school because I tried to work for a while. And I found out that that wasn't such a smart thing to do because education was more important than the small amount of money I was making. And I was making money working in union shops too. So I was getting a good pay compared to what a lot of other people were getting. So I'm going to talk to you about a group of New York City professors, people who are teaching at the city university, who have now come out and said the Supreme Court is the only hope in a fight with the anti-Semitic teachers union. I find that extremely hard to believe that in CCNY professors are suing the university and the teachers union and the New York City in a battle that could end up in the Supreme Court. And I believe these teachers who are suing want to end up in the Supreme Court, although I am not so sure that this particular Supreme Court is exactly the one anyone would want to end up. So why is this going on? So this group of teachers is suing the teachers union because they say it promotes anti-Semitism. And this group is waging this battle in the hope that the Supreme Court will be their only hope. It seems that New York State requires that even if one chooses to leave a teachers union, they still have to take part in funding the union's collective bargaining unit. And that unit effectively controls pay raises, benefits, sick leave, vacation time off, and other policies for both the union and the non-union factor. And in 2021, the teachers union, the Professional Staff Congress of CUNY, adopted a resolution in support of the Palestinian people. Now, a group of 6 professors viewed that particular action as anti-Semitic, anti-Jewish, and anti-Israel. And these professors chose to then resign from the union. But under state law, they are still required to affiliate with and be represented in bargaining by that same union. So one of the professors said, my family and I suffered severe anti-Semitic harassment and persecution at the hands of the Soviet Union for over 15 years. And I hoped it was all in my past, but now I am forced to associate with a union that makes anti-Semitic political statements in my name and without my permission and consent. I am a professor of mathematics, Abraham Goldstein, and I believe that I am entitled to say what I want without the union telling me to stand by anti-Semitism. That's what one professor said. And this business about having to pay union dues, etc., when you choose to leave the union goes against the Supreme Court decision in 2018, which issued a decision in the case of Janus versus the AFSCME. And this decision said that a non-member public employee could not be forced to pay fees to a union because that would violate that person's First Amendment rights. So why does the City College Union think that they can get away with forcing these 6 guys to pay membership dues and get nothing for it and be insulted on top of it? New York actually created a law called the Taylor Law. And it's a law that's governing public sector collective bargaining in the state. And it passed this law to reduce the duties public sector unions owed to non-members. So prior to the New York State passing the Taylor Law, unions were required to fairly represent both members and non-members. So is New York crazy that they have a law that makes non-members of a union second-class citizens in the teaching profession? So I stand here as an ex-professor. I was a part-time instructor at the National Community College, and I was a member of the union that we formed in order to get fair treatment with respect to full-time professors who used to steal our jobs. And the college at that time would hire full-time professors and not pay them the proper amount of money, but then give them classes that belonged to the part-time group. And so we put a stop to that. We formed the union and we fought back. And not only did we fight back at that time when Ralph Caso was the Nassau County Commissioner, and he himself appointed 50 people to the staff who didn't have to teach any critical courses. They taught maybe English and history. They never had to teach math or computer science or anything like that. But we formed a union to get rid of that kind of unfair treatment. And so I'm looking at this suit, this New York City suit, these 6 professors who are being treated unfairly, when the union that they used to be members of is now saying these guys are second-class citizens. And they expect these guys to continue paying union dues to them and not get anything for it. I consider that antisemitic because 5 of these 6 guys are Jews. And just the stance that a union could take a stance against Israel and against Jews is beyond my comprehension, because when I grew up in a Jewish household, unions were for the people and they stayed out of situations like this. And I see no reason why the New York State Teachers Association is taking a position in favor of the Palestinians, in favor of Hamas, in favor of evil people that want to wipe the Jews off the face of the earth. In New York City, that is a disgrace. An absolute disgrace. It's unheard of that in this city, a bastion of what once was the great Jewish communities in the United States, would have a union that stands for Palestinian insurrection. I leave you with that this morning. A disgusted ex-teacher, a strong Jew. Goodbye. Have a great day.